Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're jumping straight into a question a lot of you have been asking. Is Amazon a good time to buy right now? Before we get into the weeds, though, could you do us a quick favor? Hit that subscribe button, maybe give us a like, and definitely leave a comment below. We really do read them. And if there's a company you want us to look into next time, just let us know there. So our goal today is pretty straightforward. We're going to sift through the latest articles, earnings reports, market chatter, basically cut through the noise. We want to get you the important stuff, the nuggets of knowledge about Amazon, and, do it quickly.
That's the plan. And based on what we've seen, Amazon's story right now is really being driven by, well, a few key things. You've got robust innovation, particularly in AI and the cloud. You've got that solid earnings momentum carrying through. And analysts, they keep nudging those price targets higher. But what's really shifted, I think, is investor focus. It's less about just looking back and more about what's coming up. These seasonal factors, institutional moves, index rebalancing, they could all be pretty significant catalysts.
Okay, let's unpack that then. To really get a handle on where Amazon is today, maybe we should rewind a bit. Look at the last 3 months, say July, August, and September of 2025. It felt like a lot happened then. How did things kick off back in July?
July started with a definite feeling of optimism. We saw quite a few analyst upgrades. Truist Financial was a big one, bumping their target from $226 up to $250. And this wasn't just out of the blue. The thinking was, renewed confidence ahead of Q2 results. Plus, Amazon's whole AI strategy was getting a lot of positive attention. And underlying all that, AWS kept growing 17% year-over-year revenue growth. And Prime just keeps adding members, well over 200 million globally now. Those are big drivers for engagement and, well, ultimately for profit.
So strong fundamentals, lots of optimism there, but you also mentioned the technical side. In July, chart watchers were talking about a triple top near $240. For listeners maybe not super deep into charts, what exactly is a triple top, and why was it like a warning sign?
Yeah, good questions. Pattern worth knowing. A triple top is basically like the stock hitting its head on the ceiling 3 times. It means the price tried to push past a certain resistance level, $240 in this case 3 separate times, but couldn't quite make it stick. It's often seen as a cautionary signal. Suggests investors might be losing a bit of steam at that price, could mean a pullback if it can't break through decisively. So, yeah, fundamentals look good, but the charts were flashing a little yellow light.
A yellow light from the charts, okay. Then came August, and the big story was Amazon's Q2 earnings. They really seemed to deliver, didn't they? Reported net sales of $167.7 billion, net income $18.2 billion. That's up 13%, and wow, 35% year over year, beat the estimates.
Absolutely. And what's really powerful when you dig into those numbers is that the strength was undeniably led by that double-digit AWS growth again. This really shows Amazon's strategic focus on those high-margin enterprise services, right? It helps cushion the overall business from swings in consumer spending, and the earnings per share, EPS, jumping to $1.68. That really signaled Amazon was back to strong profitability. It reassured investors that all those cost optimizations they did, they were actually working.
That's a big turnaround. Definitely shows focus on the bottom line. But our sources also mentioned a little caution flag that popped up, free cash flow. On a trailing 12-month basis, it moderated to $18.2 billion. Now, usually, a dip in cash flow makes people nervous. What was going on there?
That's a sharp observation. And yeah, context is key here. This moderation isn't necessarily the red flag it might seem at first glance. It mostly reflects really heavy capital spending. They're pouring money into AI infrastructure, building out data centers. Think of it like planting seeds for future growth. It hits the cash flow number short term, sure, but these are generally seen as absolutely critical investments for long-term profit. So less a dip, more a strategic reinvestment.
Okay, that makes sense. Strategic reinvestment. Then September rolled around, and we saw some strong pre-market action. Amazon gained about 4.8% month over month, hit $237.60. Did that kind of erase those triple top worries from July?
Well, it certainly got the technical analysts talking again. Some called it a potential FOMO rally, fear of missing out, especially if the price could break cleanly above $238. And you could see the buying support. People were stepping in on the small dips. And that positive feeling was definitely helped by more analyst upgrades. Pivotal Research, Stifel Nicholas, they were raising targets, pushing into that 250 to 285 range.
Those are some pretty hefty price targets. What's keeping analysts so bullish, even with Amazon being so huge already? Is it just the earnings or something else?
It's definitely more than just the earnings number itself. I think the underlying story, the thing keeping optimism high despite market jitters, is this quiet revolution happening inside Amazon. It's all about AI integration. Things like rolling out their 1 millionth robot in fulfillment centers, launching their own in-house AI model. These aren't just PR points. They're seen as major catalysts for efficiency, for scalability across their massive operations. That millionth robot, it's not just a number, right? It represents a real shift in their operating leverage, potentially creating cost advantages that could, change the game.
Okay, so that's a good walkthrough of the recent action. Now let's maybe zoom out a bit. What does all this tell us about Amazon's core financial health? It's a competitive muscle. Let's get into the fundamentals.
All right, fundamentals. Looking back at the full fiscal year 2024, Amazon posted net sales of $574.8 billion. That's up from about $514 billion in 2023. So roughly 11.8% year-over-year growth. Pretty solid. Net income for 2024, $30.4 billion. That's a huge jump from just $4.3 billion a year before. And that growth, it wasn't just random. It was driven by AWS, their advertising business, which is growing really fast and just getting more efficient operationally. Their consolidated operating margin climbed to 7.8% in 2024, up from only 2.4% in 2023. And here's the kicker. AWS alone had an operating income margin of 29.6% for the year. Shows you where the big profits are coming from.
Wow, that 29.6% margin for AWS is really something. What about looking ahead? What's the guidance suggesting?
The forward guidance points to continued revenue growth for 2025, somewhere in the high single digits to low double digits range. And again, AWS and advertising are expected to be the main profit engines. Analysts are forecasting 2025 EPS earnings per share somewhere between $6.45 and 7 cents. That'll represent about 15% to 20% growth over 2024. So yeah, continued momentum is the expectation.
Okay, growth looks solid.
Yeah.
What about the balance sheet? How much debt are they carrying, especially with all those big investments we talked about?
It's actually quite balanced. As of the end of 2024, their total debt, and this includes lease obligations, was about $143.8 billion. But they also had a hefty $65.8 billion in cash and equivalents sitting there. So that brings their net debt down to $78.0 billion. And their debt-to-equity ratio was 0.94x. Basically, that means they have slightly less debt than shareholder equity, which is generally considered a healthy position.
And cash flow. You mentioned the short-term dip earlier, but for the full year 2024, sources showed free cash flow was $36.8 billion. That's a big swing back into positive territory. What's that signal?
Yeah, that's a significant improvement. It really reflects better working capital management and that return to stronger overall profitability we saw.
Oh.
All this together means Amazon's liquidity position looks solid. They've got plenty of cash to cover their bills and keep funding those huge investments in logistics, data centers, things they need to stay ahead.
Right. Now, for a lot of people, Amazon is just synonymous with dominance, isn't it? E-commerce, they've got like 38% of U.S. online sales. Cloud, AWS is the leader, about 32% market share globally. But how do they actually maintain that dominance? Especially with huge competitors like Walmart, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba snapping at their heels.
That's the key question, isn't it? Well, first, their advertising business is growing incredibly fast, often outpacing the traditional digital ad players. Then you have their competitive moats, which are really deep. The Prime ecosystem is huge. It hooks people in, offers so much value, it's hard to leave. Their sheer scale in supply chain and logistics is another massive advantage. AWS's tech leadership is hard to match. And that fulfillment network is just vast. These things create real barriers for competitors. But like you said, it's not easy street. Competition is intense globally. Walmart's stepping up its game. Azure is a formidable cloud rival. Alibaba in certain markets. And then there's always the shadow of regulatory scrutiny. These are real challenges they have to navigate constantly.
Absolutely. Okay, fundamentals look strong, but with challenges. Let's pivot back to the stock chart. What are the technicals telling us more recently?
Well, over the last 3 months, say June through September 2025, Amazon's stock has basically been trading in a range, roughly between $205 on the low end and $235 on the high end. As of mid-September, around the 13th, the price tested support near $215 and bumped up against resistance around $230. So it looks like it's in a consolidation phase.
Consolidation, okay. And what about the key indicators, moving averages, momentum, that sort of thing?
Sure. The 50-day moving average is hovering around $221. The longer-term 200-day storing average is down around $203. For momentum, the 14-day RSI, the relative strength index, is sitting at 54. That's pretty neutral, maybe trending slightly higher after being a bit oversold earlier. The Ananali indicator moving average convergence divergence, it's still modestly bullish, but it's kind of flattening out. That can sometimes suggest the upward push might be losing a little bit of steam, even if the longer trend is okay. And historical implied volatility is around 27%. So putting it all together, it's a neutral to maybe mildly bullish technical picture right now. Key levels seem to be supported $250 and resistance up at $230.
Right, like the stock's taking a breather. Okay, now what about the latest news flow? And what's the so-called smart money doing insiders analysts? What's the recent vibe?
Well, as we mentioned, the Q2 2025 results were definitely the main event recently, beating expectations thanks to AWS margins and that strong ad business. Beyond that, there haven't been any major negative headlines really grabbing attention. The focus seems to remain on those AI integrations, upgrading fulfillment centers, generally positive operational news.
And the analyst community, the folks at the big banks and research firms, still overwhelmingly positive.
Very much so. As of September 2025, you had something like 38 out of 45 analysts covering Amazon rating it a buy or strong buy. That level of consensus is pretty remarkable, honestly. Speaks volumes about their confidence in the long-term story.
That is strong backing. Okay, what about insiders? We saw some headlines about executives selling shares. Douglas Harrington, the store's CEO, sold some in early September. Matthew Garman at AWS sold some in late August. Should investors see that as a red flag?
Yes, that's a really important point to clarify. Those sales you mentioned, they were planned sales, not discretionary decisions made on the spot. Both executives sold those shares under what are called 10b5-1 plans. These are prearranged trading schedules set up in advance. It's a way for executives to sell shares over time for diversification or financial planning without being accused of trading on inside info. It's not a sign they've suddenly lost faith and are dumping stock. What you'd look for as a potential red flag is large, unplanned insider selling or maybe heavy insider buying. We haven't seen that.
Okay, crucial context there. Planned sales, not panic selling. Good. And just generally, looking at social media, retail investor forums, the sentiment seems kind of neutral to positive, still optimistic about AI and cloud growth long term.
Yeah, that seems to be the general feel. Retail investors seem largely focused on the long-term potential, especially around AI and AWS.
All right, looking ahead then, what are the next big potential movers for Amazon's stock? What dates should investors maybe circle on their calendars?
The next 3 months or so are actually pretty packed with potentially market-moving events. First up, obviously, Q3 2025 earnings. That's expected around October 22nd. Always a big one. Then you've got the S&P 500 and ETF quarterly rebalancing around November 4th. That can sometimes force institutional buying or selling. After that, all eyes will be on the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales reports around November 29th, a key indicator for holiday season strength. Mid-December, around the 15th, we get their 13F filings showing what large institutional investors have been doing. And then looking into next year, around January 29th, 2026, we'll start getting previews and guidance for Q4 2025 earnings. So yeah, plenty to watch.
Definitely busy period. So expectations must be pretty high then, especially for Q3 earnings and those holiday sales numbers. What are people really zeroing in on?
Expectations are definitely elevated. Market watchers are going to be laser focused on a few key things. Can AWS maintain its strong growth trajectory? How exactly is Amazon planning to monetize all these big AI investments they're making? Show us the money, right? And are those cost controls still having a positive impact on profitability? Any significant beat, any upside surprise in these areas could easily trigger another round of analyst upgrades and maybe push the stock through that resistance level we talked about.
And you mentioned the index rebalancing and the 13F filings. Those could also stir things up a bit, right? Maybe create some short-term volatility or trading opportunities.
Exactly. They can act as near-term catalysts, independent of the company's fundamentals sometimes. And zooming out even further, thinking about long-term catalysts, we're still talking about the continued expansion of AI and cloud services. That's huge. International growth is another big one. Expanding e-commerce and logistics, especially in places like India, South America, massive potential there. Potential M&A is always on the table with Amazon. And then there's the wild card of regulatory outcomes could go either way, positive or negative.
Okay. Now, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk rumors, the speculative stuff. What's the chatter out there that, if it actually happened, could really shake things up for Amazon?
The rumor mill.
Yeah.
Yes, there are always a few interesting speculative ideas floating around Amazon. Here are 4 key ones we've seen mentioned. First, the idea of an AWS spinoff just won't die down. Speculation keeps popping up about selling a minority stake or maybe even a full or partial spinoff. The arguments usually revolve around regulatory pressure or unlocking hidden value by separating the cloud giant from the retail side.
Wow, an AWS spinoff would be absolutely massive. A game changer. What else is being whispered about?
Second, there are persistent rumors about a major AI partnership announcement. Chatter about Amazon maybe teaming up strategically with a leading AI hardware company or maybe a big AI model provider. The idea is this could seriously broaden what AWS can offer to big enterprise clients, giving them another edge.
Interesting, a strategic AI tie-up. What about things Amazon could do with its own cash?
Well, that leads to the third rumor, the possibility of a new aggressive share buyback program. With strong cash flows and those rising analyst targets, some speculate the board might approve a really substantial share repurchase plan. It would signal confidence, potentially boost the stock price and EPS.
Okay, buybacks. And the fourth rumor touches on a whole different industry, right? One that's getting a lot of attention.
It's exactly. Healthcare. There's ongoing discussion about Amazon making a deeper push into healthcare. This could mean acquiring healthcare tech companies, maybe launching new consumer health devices, something possibly by year-end. It would be another big diversification move. Now, again, these are all speculative rumors, but definitely things to keep an eye on because any one of them could have a major impact.
Good to keep those on the radar. But of course, investing isn't all upside and exciting rumors. There are always risks. What should people be mindful of with Amazon specifically?
Absolutely. On the company-specific side, you've got ongoing margin pressures. Running that massive infrastructure, investing in content is expensive. That can squeeze profits. Regulatory issues are a constant overhang. Antitrust investigations, labor law scrutiny, both in the U.S. and Europe. These could lead to fines, restrictions, or forced changes. And then there's just execution risk. Big projects like automating logistics or expanding further internationally, they're complex. Even Amazon can stumble.
And beyond Amazon itself, what about broader market or sector risks?
Well, there are always macro risks, right? An economic slowdown, a spike in inflation that could really hit consumer discretionary spending, which affects Amazon's retail side. The tech sector in general can be volatile. Valuations can swing based on interest rates, investor sentiment towards risk. Amazon gets caught up in that. And finally, competition never sleeps. We mentioned Walmart, Azure, Alibaba, but new threats, new digital platforms are always emerging. They constantly have to defend their turf.
Okay. So let's try to wrap this all up. We've looked at the recent performance, the fundamentals, the technicals, the catalysts, the rumors, the risks. Given everything, pulling it all together, what's the verdict? Is now a good time to consider buying Amazon? What's your overall take?
All right, the big picture. Based on everything we've sifted through from our sources, I'd give Amazon an overall rating of, say, 8 out of 10 right now. Here's the rationale. The core businesses, AWS, e-commerce, advertising, they are just incredibly strong pillars supporting a really robust long-term growth outlook. This is underpinned by improving operational efficiency, that operating leverage we talked about, and generating strong free cash flow. Now, short-term. The stock has been consolidating, as we saw in the charts. It might stay in that range, maybe $215 to $230 until the next big catalysts like earnings or some macro news. The insider selling. As we established, it looks planned, not a sign of panic. Yes, regulatory risks and margin pressures are real headwinds, but they seem balanced by Amazon's sheer scale and that powerful innovation engine, especially in AI. And importantly, the valuation still seems reasonable for a tech titan like Amazon, especially given its profit growth potential and financial strength.
An 8 out of 10. Okay. And for someone thinking about investing, what's the time frame here? Is this a quick trade or something you hold on to?
This really looks best suited for a long-term investment horizon. In the near term, as I said, trading might be a bit range-bound, stuck between that $215 support and $230 resistance. The real significant upside potential seems tied to those future earnings beats and, crucially, proving out the execution on their big AI and cloud strategies over time. So probably not a stock for someone looking for a quick pop. More for patient capital, focused on growth over years, not months.
Makes sense. Long-term hold. Okay, before we wrap up, here's a final thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. As you think about Amazon's future, consider this. Forget the quarterly noise for a second. How might Amazon's relentless, heavy investment in AI and infrastructure fundamentally reshape not just its own business, but the entire competitive landscape over the next decade? What kind of impact could that have on its long-term profitability, its dominance, especially if it pushes harder into massive sectors like healthcare or expands aggressively in new international markets? Something to think about. All right, that's our look at Amazon for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We really hope this discussion has given you a clearer picture, maybe helps a bit with your own thinking and investing decisions. We look forward to having you back for our next discussion.